This is my last time doing this. Technical difficulties, chairs squeaking. What can you do? Anyway, welcome to the inaugural episode of Kickin' It in Higher Education. I am your host, David Holsinger, and today's episode and all the episodes in the foreseeable future is presented by the University of Northern Iowa's PSE Student Affairs Master's Program. So, let's talk the question that's on everybody's mind at this very second. What is Kickin' It in Higher Ed? All right, I'll tell you. So, Kicking It in Higher Ed was an idea for a podcast I had over the summer, and it all came from my experience as an undergrad. So, as an undergrad, I was a marketing major, and I did not realize marketing was something I did not particularly enjoy until I did an internship going into my senior year, and by then it was too late. Couldn't really change up without adding another year of school. So, graduated with my marketing degree, but throughout that whole senior year, it was a lot of talking with, friends, peers, mentors, family, just about, man, like, what am I going to do? And narrowed it down, figured out I wanted to work with student athletes in some capacity. And then I learned about this great PSE program here at UNI, where you can get a great education that really helps you set up to work in colleges. And this also gives you a lot of experience in these GAs, internships that are great to build the resume. So I was super excited about the opportunity, jumped on board. And even then, I didn't know about all the careers that were in higher education. And it's something I wish I would have known way sooner. So the reason I'm bringing you guys this podcast is so hopefully you can learn as young professionals about all these different career opportunities that are in higher education and, just the day to day life, how they get into them. And yeah, just basically all these amazing careers out there. So, our very first guest is my good buddy, Mr. Hiram Marquez. Hiram is an admissions counselor, and we did have some technical difficulties throughout the episode. So, it will be a little choppy. Audio might be a little wonky, so bear with me. We'll get it dialed in. We'll figure it out for the next couple of episodes here. But with that being said, here's my good buddy, Hiram Marquez.
You can introduce, or I can introduce. Maybe I introduce you. Hey, everyone.
That'd be quite the turn.
No, you got it. You got it.
Well, welcome everybody to the inaugural episode of Kicking It in Higher Ed. I'm your host, David Holsinger. Today I'm joined by the Hiram Marquez, dashing as ever. Cheers, buddy.
What's up, everyone?
So, Hiram, how about you give the people a little introduction about who you are, what you do, everything?
Yes, the introduction. So like David said, I'm Hiram. Dude, what do you even introduce yourself with? I am an admissions counselor right now. Woo! I'm an admissions counselor at Arapahoe Community College in Littleton, Colorado, south of Denver, like 20 minutes south. Formerly, I am a cat. I'm a panther. Yes. Go UNI.
Cats, baby.
Go Cats, baby. So I did the post-grad program, the higher ed thingy, with Schmitty and Shelly and all that stuff. Had a blast. Shout out both of them. But yeah, somehow ended up over here. And what else is there to know? I did my bachelor's at UNI as well. Got it in TESOL and Spanish, so double majored, and then decided I did not want to do anything with that. And so just like every other higher ed person, somehow I ended up in higher ed.
Yeah, it's always really interesting hearing everybody's different stories. Just in my cohort alone, it's like, oh, I used to be a teacher. I used to be a radio announcer, and you're like, what?
What? Radio announcer?
how do you get to all these different careers and whatnot? Yeah, it's really funny. We have a guy in our class that used to be an actor, radio announcer.
What?
Wild guy, but. Obviously, everybody has their own journey they kind of go on. Obviously, I'm coming from a business background myself. You're coming from an education standpoint. Where did your journey kind of begin into admissions then?
So the director of not the director, was he the associate director? I don't know. Anyways, Jesus Lizarraga Estrada. He is currently the director of student success and retention, but he basically got me my internship in admissions my first year in my master's program. And so once I got in there, and the second I got on the road, started going to college fairs, doing all that stuff, I really enjoyed it. I kind of fell in love with admissions, the whole process.
Mhm.
Talking to students and seeing the little opportunities, all their eyes light up when they start thinking about their potential future. And so I really enjoyed it. Yeah, that was basically how I got in.
All right, so you gain all this experience during your internship, and you're finding that admissions is kind of a route that you want to go. When did you begin your journey at Arapahoe, and how has it been so far?
I have been at Arapahoe since November of last year, so I'm coming up on the year. Um, yeah, it's been a roller coaster of emotions.
Hmm.
Anyone that has worked at admissions in any admissions office can probably tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
You go through a roller coaster. That's probably higher ed in general, honestly, because
Hmm.
I feel like I hear from academic advisors too all the time. It's the August scaries or whatever, and
Hmm.
then you get a lot of every time the new classes pop up and all that stuff. So in admissions, same thing. Community colleges, especially, they all come at once because we're somehow, for some reason, we're everyone's second choice.
Hmm.
Um, and so it's a lot, but it's also super fun. It's been a good ride. I love my team. I love the people that I work with, and yeah, good
Yeah.
time.
Mentioning your team. So, how big is the admissions team at Arapahoe then?
Oh man, so the team has grown recently in the past, really in the past month, it's grown a decent amount, and by decent amount, I mean we got two people.
Nice.
But originally we were a team of seven,
Hmm.
and then we were a team of two. For the longest time, I was the only admissions counselor.
Wow.
Um, I was the only admissions counselor at ACC, so that kind of sucked. It was when I first joined ACC, it was two of us,
Hmm.
and then pretty quick going into it, the other admissions counselor quit, just out of nowhere. But that is also kind of the case with admissions counselors as far as retention. They don't really last too long. Right now, me coming up on a year is like that's like impressive. That you don't see that a whole lot. At least from what I've heard, at least from my experiences. I shouldn't generalize, um, but yeah, we just got another admissions counselor here, like 3 weeks ago, and then this last week we got a new director of admissions. So that's been nice. As well as the team has been getting younger,
Hmm.
which is nice for me as far as, finding that sense of community and feeling connected with the team that I work with. Um, Kind of nice too that I've been in the hiring committee too, so that is partially my part in that. Um, Not that obviously I would take anyone of any age, but
Hmm.
having people my age definitely is nice as far as like creating those bonds and friendships and whatever.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, yeah, just having that community, especially when you're moving from Iowa all the way to
Totally,
Colorado.
totally.
And I mean, you're losing a lot of people, losing your
Hmm.
family a lot of times, and you're just having a huge disconnect there. So being able to connect, grow professionally. And then you mentioned before as well, just having that kind of stepping stone, I guess, with admissions, just because it
Hmm.
is one of those careers. How it sounds is where you're just getting your experience in and then you move on to something else in higher ed. So,
Yep.
what is your next goal, Mr. Marquez? What is the
Yeah,
stepping stone for
that's
admission?
a good question. I mean, it's tough because I do love admissions, and like you said, it is like one of those like entry level jobs that you kind of just get into, to see what it's like. You do get a sense of every department, every office on campus, because that's your job. Is you need to know at least a little bit about everything and everyone.
Hmm.
Um, So in that sense, I really have enjoyed it. I feel like I've learned a lot in this past year. Um, as far as next steps, oh man, I would love to do something within international admissions or student athletes. Uh, Something along those lines really is kind of what I want to do, but oh man, sometimes I just feel like I'm in no rush.
Mhm.
I like going to college fairs. I like to visit different high schools. I like to still get to talk to high schoolers and have those conversations about their futures and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, I feel like I'm still a very youthful individual, and so like getting to like express that in a like I don't know, like for example, like last week it was I had 8 college fairs that I went to, um, and I just it's my element. I just go crazy and I'm like and like
You really
getting as
just
many
feed
high
off all the
schoolers.
high schoolers'
I
energy.
yeah, like I can feel their energy
Oh
and
yeah.
it kind of helps me out too.
Hmm.
And like previously I was a high school coach too, so I
Hmm.
think I enjoy being around that population. Um, and so I don't know, I want to leave. I want to leave the admissions world. I don't want to get stuck in there, but
Hmm.
I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. And in one of your kind of typical uh, college like recruitment days that you were just talking about, visiting high schools, whatnot, what is kind of the way you would present Arapaho to a, let's say, high school student that's just not aware of a lot of opportunities out there for them, even in terms of just like colleges, but just setting Arapaho apart from other schools?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as far as us, we are not um let me just explain the community college system here in Colorado first. So we have 13 community colleges here, and we're sorry, got my dog going crazy over
Dog,
here.
dog, can't breathe.
Um, I got 13 community colleges here, and we're all kind of brothers and sisters. We're not competing against each other. Um, there's a lot of similarities within all the community colleges. Like we all basically have the same programs, the same like gen eds, quote unquote, if someone's coming for gen eds. We have some that have unique programs. So like for example, ACC, if you're interested in automotive, we
Mhm.
have we were voted best automotive in the nation last year. So we have a really good automotive program. Interior design also super good. Um, mortuary science. So if you like dead people and all that stuff, they were also, we do get like international students. We get students from all over that come for those three in particular. We have other great programs, obviously.
Mhm.
We have a bachelor's in nursing. Community colleges don't typically have bachelor's degrees. We offer 6 bachelor's degrees. Um, so we do have a few things that make us like quite special, but uh, but we don't compete with the other community colleges, which is where it felt very different than
Mhm.
when I was in Iowa. Because I did admissions at UNI. I did my internship through the admissions department, and that was one thing that felt super different. Obviously, I was in a 4 year, not a community college, but
Mhm.
even so, I felt like a Hawkeye would be competing with like a DMAC. They wouldn't
Mhm.
be like, helping each other out in some senses. And that's definitely how it feels like here, where if there's a student that lives closer to Red Rocks, which is another community college in the system,
Yep.
uh, if they live closer to them and they're doing a program that they also offer, I would probably be like, you should probably go to them. Like
Mhm.
that's probably that's probably a better call for you.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna try and sell us because that's not really putting the student first at that point. Because obviously we don't none of the community colleges here have any housing.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was just wondering actually. What
yeah,
was the
yeah.
housing situation of all of them? Yeah.
So there's no housing in any community college here. There's
Mhm.
one community college that's in the west that does provide housing,
Okay.
But apart from that one, none of them have housing. And so it doesn't make sense to make someone drive an hour just to come to us and get the same, literally the same education as they would 5 minutes away from them.
Yeah.
Um, so we don't compete in that sense. We don't try and push students to do anything uh, that's not going to be beneficial to them.
Hmm.
So in that sense, I've really liked being in this kind of community
Hmm.
where it's not necessarily like we're doing sales all the
Yeah.
time, right? We are thinking about the student. We are thinking about um what is best for them.
Hmm.
And obviously we want them to come to us, but at the end of the day, we just want what's best for the student.
That's a really nice breath of fresh air, honestly, because I think at a lot of colleges nowadays, we look at these big schools like CU Boulder, Alabama, who have all these bells and whistles and all these attractions with their great football teams, Deion Sanders, and I think it almost seems like they're this kind of corporate side of college where they are really just trying to make money. And sometimes I think we lose a sense of if they're actually putting the students first. But just by you saying that, you can really tell that the community college system in Denver does put the students first. And then, kind of jumping off of that, what would you say is the most rewarding aspect of working at a community college?
As a community college, we don't only work with students that are, high school students. We also work with a lot of adult learners, people that have been out of this like educational system for a few years. So a lot of those people are people that maybe at some point got told that they can't do this, that higher ed is not necessarily an option for them. And so when they're finally hearing someone that's finally on their side that says, "You got this. This dream of yours that you've had for years is a possibility, and one that is, an actual like affordable possibility too. You don't have to go into debt to uh, to be able to um, accomplish this dream, this goal of yours." So, the second you see that and the emotions that they have as you're having those conversations, is definitely the most rewarding part
Mm-hmm.
of the job.
You're tugging at my heartstrings. And I think this is a great place to wrap the podcast up. Is there any words of inspiration or wisdom that you want to share with the people before I let you go here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for every future higher ed professional or anyone considering a career in higher ed, I just want you all to just know that every student you're inspiring them. Every mind that you're talking to, you're igniting something within that, and like every dream, you're nurturing that. They can potentially change the world in like the field that I'm in. So admissions, higher ed, and in general, we don't just shape futures; we empower the next generation of leaders and innovators. So the impact of our work is huge. It's super important. Everything that we do is super important. So keep dreaming, keep believing in those people, keep changing those lives. Um, because at that point, we're not just elevating those individuals, but really the societies, the communities that we're a part of. So let those words inspire you, David. Let us, the listeners, keep pushing. We're gonna have some bad days, but keep thinking about the good ones.
Man,
And that's all I got.
you got me ready to run through a brick wall, dude. I'm ready
All
for
right,
it.
let's
All
do it.
right, thank you, Hiram, for coming on. Take care, buddy.
All right, have a good one.
Nice. That was good, dude.
Yeah, dude. I read it wrong, and then I I had to semi improvise there.